Power fans, what's good? I'm back with another video, and this is a very interesting video. I recently stumbled upon a podcast with Gianni Paolo, who played Brayden Weston in Power Book 2 Ghost, and obviously the OG Power. And in this interview, he pretty much just talks about why Power Book 2 Ghost really got canceled, and he talks about Power legacy and him potentially being in the show, and he says some pretty interesting things. So I'm just going to get right into it. We're going to kind of break this down. I probably pause it a couple times to make some points, but let's get right into it.
My friends, now back to the podcast. If your show had so much numbers, why'd they end up canceling it or finishing the story?
It was a budget thing.
Bingo. Off rip. It was a budget thing. I've been saying this for the longest time. They didn't want to pay the money. They were cheap. They didn't want to spend the money that was necessary to keep this show going, and that's why they ended prematurely with 4 seasons.
It was a strike and budget thing.
So is there a world where they can bring it back?
They're doing another spinoff. I don't think I'm a part of it.
Would you want to be part of it?
I go back and forth with it.
They're doing another spinoff. I don't think I'm a part of it. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, they be lying, they be trolling, you can never really believe them, but I kind of believe him. And he kind of goes into detail about why he doesn't think he'll be in it and why he doesn't really want to be in it.
Love to pop in and do an episode, but I don't know if I want to be then it's 3 Power shows that I'm on, and it's like, as an actor, you want to expand, and that audience is amazing. It's so big, but Hollywood doesn't know who I am. So all those guys.
Bingo. This is the same thing that Woody McClain, who plays Kane Tejada on Power Book 2 Ghost, was saying in a couple of his interviews. Power has a huge fan base, right? But the fan base is in their own kind of bubble and niche, and people outside of the Power universe fan base, they don't know Power. Like, the average person walking on the street does not know Power. You know what I mean? Hollywood people don't know Power. And this is what Woody McClain was kind of saying, how he would go into interviews and auditions, and he would say, oh, I played Kane Tejada on Power, and they'd be like, what is that? We've never heard of that. We don't know that. And this kind of speaks to why Power has never really won any real awards, any Emmys, nominations, Golden Globes, nothing. Like, you get boxed in very quickly when you play in this universe.
No matter how you can't walk down the street, this and that, Hollywood, you're always just going to be auditioning again. As opposed to these guys in Euphoria, they're never auditioning ever again. They're just straight offers. You're there's people who are A-listers from in the Power universe, and they're just back in the audition line for recurrings, and it's
they are people in the Power universe who are A-listers in the Power universe, and they still have to go audition for reoccurring roles. So it's pretty much saying that there's people in Power who are playing lead roles, and they still have to go audition and prove themselves, even though they've been on these Power shows for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, however long it may be. They still not getting the credibility and the recognition for the roles that they played. Essentially, they're saying that being on Power is great for the fan base, but it's not great for the actor's career.
Unheard of. It's really a disconnect in my eyes. But yeah, I'd like to do an episode here and there, but I don't know if I want to be on it full time.
How'd you feel about your character once he came to an end? Did you feel like his story served what it needed to?
No, I think that everything, because we didn't know we were ending, so everything wound up being open-ended, in my opinion.
We didn't know we were ending. They didn't know they were ending, but they put that shit out anyway. They put out that bad product in season 4. They didn't give a fuck, guys. Oh my god.
Because the writer's strike had just happened, sloppy, and I think that there needed to be more of a close and what really was the situation, in my opinion. I feel like each character needed more of an ending or whatever, but we didn't know we were ending, so they couldn't really do it. And plus, the last 3 months of shooting, we didn't have any writers.
The last 3 months of shooting, they didn't have any writers.
Who was writing it? Oh, because the strike.
They wrote the episodes, but there was
tweaking.
No edits, no anything. That was it, and it's okay, so that's the end of the show.
Right.
No really writers and that.
They could bring it back.
So pretty much what he's saying is, because of this writer strike that was going on, you guys could do your research about that. It was a big deal, and it's still kind of a big deal. They had already finished the script for season 4, but they were not allowed to make any changes or tweaks throughout filming. So what they wrote was what they had to go through with. They couldn't make any change, any edits, any changes. So everything that they filmed was not corrected. They couldn't change anything. They couldn't fix anything. They couldn't go back and add stuff, remove stuff. That's why we got such a terrible Power Book 2 Ghost season 4. It makes so much sense now when you get this clarity from Gianni about how they were restrained. It wasn't really their fault. I think a lot of the writer's strike played a huge part in this, but I also feel like them canceling the show and not giving them another season to kind of redact and fix what they messed up in the 4th season, I don't understand that.
For sure. But
even a 2-hour special.
They could, but they're just going to continue it with whatever they're going to do with Tariq and I think Tommy's character, which is great. Like, they should do that.
Yeah.
And that people will watch it forever. You know, it's amazing. Yep. But I think that the whole ending it just was a budget thing. I think our episodes were like $13-14 million an episode.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But
$13-14 million in episode?
The viewership was there, so it wasn't like unwarranted.
That's a key point. He said the viewership was there, so it wasn't unwarranted. So yes, they were spending a lot of money to create this show, but they were generating a lot of revenue as well, so it was worth it. So this just tells you that Starz was cheap and they wanted to pocket more of the money that they were making. They wanted more profits, so they cut this show, and that's why we're going to get Power Legacy now.
Canceled it way too early. I think they just needed to tweak some things, but I think that they just panicked and were like, no, we'll just do a different show, I guess.
When you're filming a shootout,
this is crazy. And I really love when actors and people who work on these shows go on these podcasts and they kind of break these things down and give us the insight, because we would have otherwise never really known a lot of this stuff if he didn't really speak on it. We kind of just would have thought, oh, they just put out a lazy season. They didn't give a damn. But the reality is, they did put out some lazy stuff, but the reality is the writer's strike did affect heavily the product that they were able to put out. They couldn't really change anything and make the changes and the edits to make sure that we got the proper ending for these characters that we wanted. But also what Gianni said was they could have just kept it going. Like, they didn't have to end it. You know what I mean? The writer's strike is over now. They could have easily renewed for season 5, and in season 5 they could have kind of redacted and fixed some of the things that they messed up in season 4 and just kept the series going, and people still would have kept watching. Power Book 2 Ghost's final season had like over 10 million viewers per episode. So the viewership was there. The money was there. Everything they were doing was warranted. I mean, Power Book 2 Ghost was the most popular franchise out of all the Power shows by far. They blew all the records. They blew OG Power out of the water. But you know, Starz got cheap. They was like, nah, we trying to keep our money. We're just gonna end this shit, so we don't gotta pay y'all no more. And then we're gonna reboot a new spinoff with some of these characters and kind of move forward with that. And Gianni is pretty much saying like, he's not trying to be a part of that. And he's saying, well, I've already been on 2 Power shows. If I get onto a 3rd one, I'm just pigeonholing myself in to this whole universe, and it's already bad enough because Hollywood doesn't know Power. So he could do 3, 4, 5 Power shows. When he goes into these Hollywood auditions for these bigger projects, they're not gonna really know what he's done. They're not gonna care. So I think this was a great podcast. You guys should definitely check it out. If you just search up Gianni Paolo's name, it'll be one of the first podcasts to come out. And I think this was some very good insight, and it gives us insight into like the business of television, how these things get produced, and how these writer strikes and these things like really affect, you know, what kind of product we get out. And that makes me wonder, what about Power Book Force? Right? That makes me wonder, well, Power Book Force, did they go through the same thing? Did they just decide to cancel the show? Were they able to make changes? Were they able to make edits when they were filming? That makes me wonder, like, well, what about Force? What kind of season for Force are we going to get? Is it going to be open-ended and loose like it was for Power Book 2 Ghost? You know what I mean? That's going to be very frustrating for the fans if we get a repeat of that in the final season, because we know, again, Power Book Force also got canceled. This is also the final season, and obviously we know that show is going to lead into Power Legacy, so there might be a little bit more leeway if things get left open-ended. But I'm just curious as how that's going to affect things moving forward. I know Starz has recently started shooting a new TV show that 50's producing called Fightland, so they got money. They're producing other shows. They're in production with other stuff. So I guess it's really just up to Starz to decide how they want to move things forward. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys follow your boy on all platforms. We just hit 30K on Instagram. Make sure you guys support that. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're on all platforms. And if you want more exclusive content, if you want videos like this dropped earlier, because I dropped this video like a few days earlier on my Patreon, make sure you guys join the Patreon, support your boy. It is free to join, and then I got some other tiers and things of that nature that you can pay to get some more exclusive content and access, and play a role in curating the content. I'll catch you guys on the next one.